English. Hello, I'm Stan Busby, your host for All About English, a VOA program we hope will help you improve your skills in this language that we speak. Today, we will review the two programs you heard earlier this week. We'll listen to the first conversation, then we'll practice with some of the words and expressions we heard. In today's first conversation, Robbie Stewart and Alexandra Pappas are at the Stewart home cooking food to take on a picnic.
Okay, Alexandra, here you go. 2 cups of finely chopped onions. That means very small pieces, like this.
Oh, Robbie, you did a nice job.
Of course. This is my first time cooking stuffed grape leaves, but it's not my first time in the kitchen.
I know. You're a great cook. Now, mix everything together and wet up the grape leaves.
This is the fun part.
I do hope everyone will like these.
Believe me, after riding their bikes all the way to the lake, the kids will eat anything.
Anything? That's not very nice to say.
Oh, Alexandra, I didn't mean it that way. They'll love them. And they'll be really hungry.
Stuffed grape leaves are a traditional Greek food. I think they're delicious.
I know they're delicious. See? I'm tasting them right now.
Don't do that. The rice isn't cooked.
Mmm, delicious.
I hope you break a tooth. You really think they'll like them?
Alexandra, I know everyone is bringing some food, but these will be everybody's favorite. Come on, let's put them in the oven. What temperature?
Low heat. They will need at least an hour and a half.
Great. I set the timer. Now let's go listen to some tapes.
All right. I brought a surprise for you.
A surprise? What is it?
Some music to go with the grape leaves. I know you like Greek music. Do you want me to teach you Greek dancing?
Sure.
Okay. You go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Forward, side, back, side. How am I doing?
You're great! You're great!
Hey, let's take this tape to the picnic. We can teach all the kids Greek dancing.
There's the timer. The grape leaves are ready.
Watch me. I'll dance my way to the kitchen. I'll be right back.
Robbie, this is going to be a great picnic.
Of course. With Greek music and Greek food, what could be better? 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. Thunder. Alexandra, that means rain.
Oh, no. Robbie, our picnic.
Now let's look at some words and expressions we heard in the conversation. In the introduction, I said Alexandra is teaching Robbie how to make a traditional Greek dish to take with them on a picnic. The word traditional in this sentence is an adjective, a word that tells us something about a noun. A traditional dish, a large house, a red car. These words are called adjectives. Traditional comes from the noun tradition, meaning the usual way of thinking about something or the usual way of doing things in a country. The word dish usually means a plate or a bowl to put food in. In this sentence, dish means the food itself. A picnic, spelled P-I-C-N-I-C, is a meal usually eaten outdoors. We say, go on a picnic, meaning to take a short trip away from home to eat our food. Let's practice with these words and expressions. First, I'll say the sentence, and then you say it. Stuffed grape leaves are a traditional Greek dish. Stuffed grape leaves are a traditional Greek dish. Now, I'll ask a question. The question is, what is a traditional dish or food in your country? If you can answer, a traditional dish in, and give the name of your country, is, and give the name of the food. Here we go. What is a traditional dish in your country? And you answer. Robbie and Alexandra are getting ready to go on a picnic. Robbie and Alexandra are getting ready to go on a picnic. Alexandra says to Robbie, "You did a nice job. You're a great cook." And later says, "That's not very nice to say." A cook is a person who prepares food for eating. Here, cook is a noun. It can also be a verb. For example, I cook the food for my family. The word nice is a word Americans use often. A nice job means a good job. A nice day means a pleasant day. Not very nice means not polite. Let's practice. Today is a nice day. The weather is good. Today is a nice day. The weather is good. Now I'll ask a question and you answer it. The question is, who is the cook in your family? And you can answer, the cook in my family is, and put the name of that person. Here we go. Who is the cook in your family? And you answer, who is the cook in your family? Robbie says, I set the timer. The verb set has many meanings. Here, it means to adjust a timer to ring a bell at the time they think the food will be cooked. We also set a watch to the correct time. Many people set their alarm clocks to ring and wake them up in the morning. Alexandra says to Robbie, I brought a surprise for you. A surprise is something you don't expect to happen. Surprise can be a verb, a noun, or an adjective. Let's practice with these words and expressions. First my turn, then yours. Many people set their alarm clocks to ring in the morning. Many people set their alarm clocks to ring in the morning. Alexandra surprised Robbie with Greek music she brought. Alexandra surprised Robbie with Greek music she brought. You are listening to All About English on the Voice of America. Today we are reviewing the two programs you heard earlier in the week. Let's continue now with the second conversation.
If
It's raining hard now, so our friends won't be going on a picnic today.
Robbie, are you all right?
I'm all right, Alexandra. But look outside the window.
Oh, no. Look, it's raining. What are you going to do about the picnic?
What are we going to do about all these grape leaves?
Phew! Boring out there. It's raining cats and dogs. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Alexandra. Ugh, I'll be surprised if I don't catch a bad cold. I'm soaking wet. Hey, something smells good in here. What is it?
That's the smell of stuffed grape leaves.
Traditional Greek food. Robbie and I made them. Smells yummy.
You look like you went swimming.
In my favorite silk blouse. Why didn't I listen to the weather report this morning? Oh, look at my shoes. They're all wet. They're ruined.
We were planning to go on a picnic. We made the grape leaves to take along and share with the other kids.
Well, they sure smell good. They do. Only the best for our friends. What's inside them? Lamb, rice, onions, and herbs. We mix them together and wrap them up in grape leaves. May I try just one?
Well, if it's okay with Alexandra, it's okay with me.
Sure. Go ahead, Marilyn. I don't think there will be any picnic today. That's too bad.
We've been looking forward to this picnic for weeks.
I really wanted my friends to try this food. Most of the kids have never eaten stuffed grape leaves. I wanted to introduce them to a new food from my home.
That's really important to Alexandra.
Well, I have never tasted them. You haven't? Well, here, Marilyn. Let me get you a plate.
Hey, why not get her a paper plate? Let's pretend we're on a picnic.
Right here at the kitchen table?
Why not? Who says picnics have to be outside?
Robbie, you're a genius.
Come on, Marilyn. Pull up a chair and join our picnic. Would anyone like something to drink? We have cola, milk, orange juice, and water.
Oh, no water for me. I've had enough water for today.
Now let's look at some words and expressions we heard. In the introduction, I said, they won't be going on a picnic today. Won't be going, or will not be going, means they are not going on a picnic now, and they will not be going for the rest of the day. This form of the verb to be, plus the ing form of a second verb, shows an action that goes on or continues into the future. Let's practice with this verb form. First, I'll say the sentence, then you say it. It's raining, so they won't be going on a picnic today. It's raining, so they won't be going on a picnic today. I will be listening to this program until it's over. I will be listening to this program until it's over. Robbie says, we made the grape leaves to take along and share with the other kids. Take along means to bring something with you when you go somewhere. We also say bring along in this meaning. Let's use these expressions in some sentences. First, my turn, then yours. It might rain today. Let's take along an umbrella. It might rain today. Let's take along an umbrella. The weather report says rain. Let's bring along an umbrella. The weather report says rain. Let's bring along an umbrella. Robbie says, we've been looking forward to this picnic for weeks. We've been looking forward to means we have been expecting someone or something with great pleasure. This expression uses have been and the ing form of the verb to show an action that started in the past and is still happening now. Robbie and Alexandra have looked forward to the picnic for weeks. They were still looking forward to it when it started to rain. Let's practice with this verb form. We've been looking forward to this picnic for weeks. We've been looking forward to this picnic for weeks. We've been looking forward to hearing from you about this program. We've been looking forward to hearing from you about this program.
Prepare and file your income tax forms on the internet, on the information superhighway, on the World Wide Web.
When Alexandra says most of the kids have never eaten stuffed grape leaves, Marilyn says, well, I have never tasted them, meaning she hasn't eaten them either. Then Alexandra says, you haven't? Have never eaten means I did not eat this food at any time in the past. You haven't is an expression that shows surprise. The voice rises when you say it. Let's practice. I have never eaten stuffed grape leaves. I have never eaten stuffed grape leaves. You haven't? Why not try some? You haven't? Why not try some?
Orange believes it should be possible for everyone to have more than one.
We have been listening to conversations from the radio series Tuning in the USA. Tune in next week for All About English.
Toward the end of her life, she received many letters of thanks from young women. One wrote that Dr. Blackwell had shown the way for women to move on.
This special English program was written by Nancy Steinbach and directed by Paul Thompson. I'm Shirley Griffith.
And I'm Ray Freeman. Join us again next week for another program on the Voice of America. Listening to the Voice of America, your worldwide source for news and information. We now say goodbye to listeners in East Asia until 11 hours Universal Time, when VOA Worldwide English will be available in the 7, 9, 11, 15, and 17 megahertz bands shortwave. This is the Voice of America.
program is all about English. Hello, I'm Stan Busby, your host for All About English. Today we will review the programs you heard earlier in the week. We'll listen to the conversations from the radio series Tuning in the USA. Then we'll ask you some questions about what you heard. This is your chance to see how well you understand the lessons. At the end of today's program, Chip Harmon will join us. Chip is a specialist in educational technology with the United States Information Service. He will answer some of our listeners' questions about using computers to study English. Are you ready? Here is the first conversation.
3 minutes until arrival in Washington, D.C.
Alexandra, wake up. We're almost there. Oh, I fell asleep on the train. I guess I haven't been very good company. I'm sorry, Mrs. Stewart.
That's okay. In fact, I needed the time to organize these papers.
What are they?
They are petitions. I've got over 5,000 signatures on it from people in our town. They all want the government to give money for after-school programs.
What are you going to do with the papers?
I'm going to give them to Congressman McGrath.
Oh, is he expecting you?
No, I'll just leave them with the secretary in his office. We have a lot to do in 2 days. Let's stop by the congressman's office and then go straight to the Air and Space Museum. Congressman McGrath, I didn't expect to see you. I want to thank you for taking the time to meet me.
Well, Mrs. Stewart, when my secretary told me that you carried this petition all the way from New York to Washington, I wanted to meet you.
I believe our children should have the best care and education possible during the school day and after the school day. As you can see by these signatures, thousands of citizens feel the same way.
I will read your petition carefully. Thank you for bringing it to me. Can you introduce me to your young friend?
This is Alexandra Pappas. She's a student from Greece.
How do you do, Alexandra? I'm pleased to meet you.
The pleasure is mine.
What do you think of Washington, D.C.?
It's a beautiful city.
I guess it is.
And I can't believe we're actually meeting you. Well, I mean, Mrs. Stewart had this idea. People are interested. Now, we are in Washington talking to you.
Well, my job is to represent the people in my district, like Mrs. Stewart. Our government works that way.
And we are getting a pretty close look at it.
Now, Mrs. Stewart, I can't promise you anything will happen with this petition, but I can give you something. Here are 2 tickets to the visitors gallery for this afternoon.
Tickets to watch Congress?
Yes. Both of you can sit in the visitors gallery of the House of Representatives and watch Congress at work.
The United States Congress. Just wait till Robbie hears about this.
Okay, now try to answer the following questions. Here is the first question. Where are Ellen and Alexandra going? An answer you might have given is Ellen and Alexandra are going to Washington. Or they are going to the nation's capital. The next question, why is Ellen going there? Your answer might have been, Ellen is going to Washington to visit her congressman. Or, she is going there to deliver a petition. Next question. What did Alexandra do on the train? The answer is she fell asleep. The next question, what does Alexandra think of the city? An answer would be, she thinks it's beautiful. Or, Alexandra thinks Washington is a beautiful city. And the last question, what will Ellen and Alexandra do after leaving the congressman's office? An answer would be, they will visit Congress. Or, Ellen and Alexandra will see the United States House of Representatives. Could you answer the questions? We hope so. Now let's listen to the second conversation.
There it is, Alexandra. The White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
So that's the president's house.
Yes. The president works there and lives there, too.
Can anyone visit the White House?
Yes. It's open to the public.
I think that's so great. Anybody can go inside and look around. I'm so glad you planned this visit today.
Alexandra, I've never been to the White House either. This will be interesting for me, too.
The first room on the White House tour is the White House Library. It is this room on our right. Over the fireplace is a portrait of our first president, George Washington. It is the same picture you see on our dollar bill.
Look in there, Alexandra.
Oh, I'd like to have a room like that. Lots of books, a fireplace, and a comfortable chair.
How many presidents have sat in that chair?
We are now standing in the East Room of the White House. Today the President has his news conferences here.
Mrs. Stewart, the White House must have 100 rooms.
There might be more. Why don't you ask our tour guide?
Does anyone have any questions before we move on?
I have a question. How many rooms are there, altogether?
The White House has 132 rooms in all. 20 are bedrooms, and 34 are bathrooms.
But where does the president sleep and eat breakfast? Will we get to go there?
The President and his family live upstairs. We don't allow visitors on that floor. I'm sure you can understand the reason.
I think so. The president needs his privacy just like everyone else. And after all, it is his home.
The President never thinks of this as his own home. He doesn't own the White House. He's just here for a few years. He and his family take care of it.
Then who owns the White House?
The American people. The White House belongs to them. Here we are at the north entrance. I hope you all enjoyed your visit today.
I certainly did.
Are you ready for more questions? Here we go. Remember, try to give as full an answer as you can. The first question, where are Ellen and Alexandra now? An answer you could have given is, Ellen and Alexandra are at the White House, or they are at the White House. The next question, who lives and works there? The answer is the President of the United States, or the President of the United States lives and works there. The next question, who can visit the White House? The answer is anyone can visit the White House, or anybody can. The next question, what did Alexandra ask the tour guide? She asked him, how many rooms are there altogether? And the last question, did Alexandra enjoy her visit? And your answer might have been, she certainly did. Or, Alexandra certainly enjoyed her visit. How well did you do this time? We hope you did well. You are listening to All About English on the Voice of America. We hope you were able to answer our questions, and now it's time for us to answer your questions. Joining us today is Chip Harmon. He is a specialist in educational technology with the United States Information Service. Welcome, Chip.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice to be here.
We're glad you could join us. We have questions from listeners that talk about computers and learning English, specifically the Internet and email. We have a letter from Brian Elke, who is teaching English in Greece. Could you help us answer this question? What is the Internet? How is it used in English teaching and English learning? What are your suggestions for us?
Well, the Internet has found a very strong place in the teaching of English around the world, not only in the United States, but English teachers around the world have opportunities to discuss teaching problems and solutions using email, corresponding from one teacher to another, but there are also Internet discussion forums, or in this case that I'm thinking of, a listserv. A listserv is an email activity which one user sends an email message to an address, and that message is then sent out to many, many more teachers who all can respond and share the responses within a very short period of time. And the very nice aspect of this is that it doesn't cost the users anything to participate. In these kinds of discussions, teachers talk about what's important to them in the classroom, what problems they have, and they discover that they are not alone, that their problems, whether you're teaching in Greece or teaching in Egypt or teaching in Ghana, that many of the problems are very similar.
For those of us who are not familiar with the Internet, could you give us a rather brief, fairly simple explanation of what it is and what it does?
Well, the Internet is a collection or a group, a very large group of computer networks. The kind of computer networks that you find at a university or governments. And these networks have a common language that allow them to talk to each other. And email is what I would call the lowest level of Internet use. It requires the least amount of expensive technology, and it's also the easiest to use. The Internet allows people to exchange messages with email, but now we have heard a great amount of reporting about the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web is a very advanced level of Internet use, which allows someone with a personal computer to view images, there's pictures, and some incredibly beautiful things, that it's really like looking at a magazine, because the quality is that high. in a text, there will be words that are a different color or highlighted that allow, when you select this word with your computer mouse, it allows you to perhaps see another page, listen to some sounds if your personal computer is equipped with the right equipment, or to see a short video image moving and with sound. That's the most advanced type of use of the Internet on the World Wide Web.
How can listeners around the world contact the Voice of America by Internet or email?
In preparation for today's program, I assembled a document of suggestions for people who have email but are perhaps reluctant to use it or are not sure how to use it. So you have to have email already to get this document, but if you send a message to English@usia.gov, and in the subject line of the email, you write only this word, VOA email, and I'll spell that, VOAEMAIL. There's no space, it's one word, and there's no hyphen, there's no dash. You will automatically receive a document which lists some suggestions for teachers and for people who are interested in getting information about pen pals and other such things that are very easy and inexpensive to use on the Internet.
Thank you very much, Chip. We appreciate you joining our program today.
It's been my pleasure.
We have been speaking with Chip Harmon, who is a specialist in educational technology with the United States Information Service. Well, we're out of time for today. We'll answer more of your questions soon. So please keep writing. Our address is All About English, The Voice of America, Washington, D.C., 20547. Our fax number is 202-619-2543. And don't forget that email address. It's at USIA.gov. That's English@USIA.gov. Remember, if we answer your question on the air, we'll send you some materials to help you in your studies. This is Stan Busby saying goodbye until we meet again to talk all about English.